Okay, so imagine this. You're standing on top of a snow-covered mountain. The air feels so crisp, it feels like you can taste it. Below you, the slopes stretch out endlessly, a perfect blanket of white snow shimmering in the morning sun. You hear the soft crunch of snow as you shift your weight, your heart pounding with both excitement and a hint of nervousness. The ski lift creaks behind you, and you feel like you're in your own world. You take a deep breath, push off with your poles, and suddenly you're moving. It's you feel you feel the wind roar past your ears. Your skis covering perfect arcs into the snow, and for a moment, it feels like you're flying. It's exciting, but also mysterious. How does it all work? What makes you what makes you be how, how do your skis carve perfect arcs into the snow, and how do you stop without falling flat on your face? Today, I'm going to take you behind the scenes of that thrill into the fascinating physics that makes skiing possible. The main reason you can glide down a mountain at thrilling speeds comes down to a single word: gravity. When you're at the top of a mountain, you have something called potential energy, which is basically stored energy waiting to be released. The moment you push off, that energy transforms into kinetic energy, that pulling you downhill. I remember my first time on a steep slope, my knees were shaking just looking over the edge. The instructor told me trust gravity, but learn to control it, and that advice stuck with me. Instead of fearing the pull of the mountain, I learned to control it and use it. If gravity is the engine, friction is your steering wheel and brakes. When your skis lay flat on the ground, they actually have very little friction, making you slide easily. But the moment you tilt your skis onto their edges, friction increases. And that's what helps you stop and turn. Modern skis are designed with very sharp edges that dig into the snow. So by angling your skis, you can literally cut through the snow, which creates friction that helps you turn and stop. Different snow conditions like slush, powder, or hard pack create different friction levels. Powder has a lot of resistance, making which slows you down. But it can also allow for a very unique more floating-like experience, which I personally very much like. Icy or hard pack conditions can reduce frictions, which might make it feel like you're skidding, which makes you lose control. So these here are my skis. They're called twin tip skis because they have tips that go up on both sides, making it easier to ski in powder snow or ride backwards. Because both ends are raised, snow slips underneath much easier. By contrast, normal skis have a flatter base for speed, but don't handle deep snow or powder very well. In high-level ski races, the racers heavily rely on friction control and knowing the snow conditions. In high-speed turns, the racers angle their skis in precise ways, and just a few degrees can mean the difference between first place and sliding down the run. Special ski techs even tweak edge sharpness and wax composition at the race times to ensure maximal control. And according to a study by the Journal of Applied Physics, the best wax and edge sharpness can reduce friction by up to 20%, which can transform into a massive difference in race times. For many skiers, a carved turn is the ultimate achievement. You tilt your skis, feel their sharp edges grasp into the snow, and ride a clean arc without starting to slide uncontrollably. This is where centripetal force comes into play. It's a force that pulls a moving object into a curved path. As you lean into your turn, the force of your body plus the friction from your skis creates a sideways pull that lets you follow a curved path instead of continuing straight. So the tighter you want your turn, the more you need to lean and press into the snow. When you ski down a slope at 60 plus miles an hour, air resistance becomes a very big factor. Aerodynamic drag works against your motion, literally pushing you against you. Ski racers reduce drag by wearing very tight suits and getting into a very tucked position to minimize their frontal area. Olympic downhill skiers even exceed speeds of up to 80 miles per hour. At those speeds, even a slight change in posture, like raising your hand, can create enough drag to slow you down by fractions of a second, which doesn't seem like much, but can mean the difference between first place and fifth. I think skiing is a perfect mix of art and science. Behind the thrill of speeding downhill, there is a balance of forces at work. Gravity pulls you forward, friction helps you turn and stop, and air resistance shapes your movement. Understanding these principles can help you see what's really happening under the skis. You'll carve with more control and an even greater sense of amazement of the physics at work. Thank you for joining me today on this presentation of the physics of skiing, and I hope you have fun out there on the slopes. Thank you.